or you can just click. And this topic is going to be very nourishing and I think beautiful for the soul. So just making sure that Spanish can hear and unmute and speak from the heart. And by the way, translation for Western Balkans, you need to select Russian today. I would like to share a couple of reflective quotes. Actually, first one is very simple. A man sees in the world what he carries in his heart. And Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, quite straightforward and I think very vivid actually. This second one is Mahatma Gandhi and his own idea about love, to see the universal and all-pervading spirit of truth face to face. One must be able to love the meanest of all creation as yourself, or as oneself, as he put it. So that was his, he was working on this in such an open and honest way. And I don't know that he managed to conquer this one, but certainly it was inspiring for the world. So let's inspire each other, and looking forward to this, this nourishing 3 days of retreat together. So I'm going to extend an invitation to Prashant to say hello, and to all of you, looking forward to hearing your insights, reflections and questions in chat. Welcome.
Thank you, Sarah. And so nice to hear the words from Gandhi. And he definitely has authority to talk on this subject because he was one of those embodiments of love at some level. You know, and our discussion this weekend is a little different. It is, we are talking about Parmatm Pyaar. And this subject, Parmatm, Parmatma, that word is used for God. But this expression in the Raj Yoga context is used when there is love for from soul to God, love from God to souls, and from souls to souls. So when you are in that dimension, then we can call it Parmatm Pyaar. If you are loving, not mixed, you know, if you are loving the souls, and that is, you are connected to the Parmatm area. So it is so nice. We meet again after some weeks now. And it is nice for us to touch base in our own way. And at some time later, we will have a poll to see how many of us are very new, just to get an idea for us, ourselves and new in this gathering. Let us start with a few minutes of just a simple reminder and getting our positioning right. Why? What is this positioning? In this world where there is a blanket of confusion, if there is one definition for the Iron Age, it is ignorance. Ignorance of ignorance. So they don't even know that who they are in that level of ignorance. So gentle word is confusion. So if we are dealing with such a word, first most useful thing for us is the best intellect. And we have the option with this intellect to see in truth. It is like a very interesting phenomenon. We give ourselves the permission to see in 100% truth by saying we are using paras intellect. And game changes within a second. When we are seeing in 100% truth, what happens? We are able to see this alokik dimension. Reality that is normally invisible. We are able to see the family of souls. We are able to realize that there is immortality and the world is eternal. This dimension is eternal. We are able to see the independence. The story is separate and the alokik world is separate. We are able to see the reality of the Supreme Friend. Until then, we are blocked, as if this entire dimension is blocked out. Ignorance is like that. Now we are at least seeing this dimension. We are seeing the physical world for what it is. If it is meant as a story, if it is meant as a drama, we see it as a drama. This environment of truth, environment of paras, it favors the soul. Just like environment of ego favors, ignorance favors the ego. Environment of truth favors the soul, which is a great news. And the soul becomes conscious. Important milestone. Soul that is conscious can see his existence, his reality, can see that presence. He sees himself as an invisible presence and invisible player. He can see his immortality. His own immortality is normal for him. Just as anyone wakes up, for him, it becomes normal which house he belongs and which family he belongs. When he was not awake, that was shut down. Same happens here. The soul wakes up and he realizes that right now, that his world of silence, that's where he belongs. And his whole dimension is eternal. That appears normal. To belong to this great family of souls, that appears normal. That he does not need anything from the story, that appears normal. Here you can see the whole physical world as a story, understands his independence from the story. Story is separate, it is there. Just like there are so many stories. We are independent. What does that mean? That story cannot harm me, story cannot give me anything either. I can watch the story, I can be entertained, but there can't be interaction with the story. Can you imagine when we say the confusion, ignorance, we are tangled into a story. So in this full light of Paras, you are understanding your independence from the story. In the story, there are many characters, but they are story characters. Invisible soul knows his independence. They are not his family, nothing to do with him. Nothing to do with stories, just he's loosely involved in more like an observer always. Even if he's acting in a story, he's loosely involved in the story. To get this positioning right is primary, because in the environment of ignorance, confusion, nothing can be expected from a person. You can't expect love or the confusion. And just like confusion, he can sing a song, but he himself doesn't know what he's singing. A bit like that. But now we are first seeing this invisible player. He understands who he is, where his true family is. His true family are also these invisible players, souls. And he understands his true father is in this dimension. At this level, all are immortal. All don't need anything from the story. So that the expression we hear, ignorant of the word desire, they don't need anything from the story. And this world beyond, that is always with them, it is eternal. They don't lose anything, they don't lack anything, they don't miss anything. That's why it's a noble personality. Starting position is this, noble. If they are loving, it is not because they want anything. Starting position, they need nothing from anyone, anywhere. They don't even need love or some acknowledgement, some support. They don't need nothing. Noble. They feel full. They are so independent. They know they don't own a single atom from that story world. They feel full and secure. All we have done is taken the first step of using the right intellect and seeing in truth. And we are discovering this invisible soul, his perspective. He becomes conscious. He understands his independence from this role. Like in this case, Prashant. Prashant is part of the story. Story itself is irrelevant for him. And so the conscious soul knows his independence from the role. And it is 100% independence. He is not extension of the role is not extension of him. They are separate. If we mix anything, then we allow ignorance to come in. Anytime. Right now we may be clear. Later we may be mixing things. That time, know that it is ignorance. And we are saying you can't expect anything from someone who is confused. Game may change, different. first positioning we need is getting our positioning right. Getting 100% light, 100% clarity. As we continue on our journey, we remember the option we have. We have the option to be in truth. And we have the option to come back in that again and again. Thank you. So I will be using the board and build some ideas. You will be able to adjust and see the whiteboard also on your device. One thing we all are exposed to in this world is the language of love that exists everywhere. And there is so much talk going on about love. Some 90% of songs on this planet are around love. That is, and that can happen in spiritual institutions also, lots of language of love. But also lots of sorrow in this world are also mixed with love. And those who claim that they are loving, they also then end up blaming each other and complaining about each other. So there are complications that come from love. Sometime in the past, we have discussed this subject, difference between attachment and love. And it is good for us to quickly see what is the, we use these words, attachment, and we use the word love. If I was to ask you, what is the difference between attachment and love? What will you say? You can type your answers.
The one word is expectations. Attachment is in the drama. Love, true love, is from the soul to the soul. Attachments cause bondages, and love is unconditional. Happiness and sorrow, ego. True love is free, dependency or attachment. Attachment is expectations, love is unconditional. Self-serving interest in attachment.
Sure. Feel free, as we go along. We also, Sarah might have mentioned it. Any questions that you may have on any subject, we'll be happy to deal with them during these few days. So to understand this subject, and this is so central for us. This is our life also. We have got a huge energy of love. And so unless it is understood a little bit clearly, we can use that power in the wrong direction. So here we are taking an example, a live example. And this is a mother and a son. But I know them very well. And in this case, the son gets a job in Australia They are living in Cambridge, and this is some years ago, before the Corona drama. And so, he was very enthusiastic. It is a smart offer. He wanted to go. And the mother says, no, don't go because I love you. And he feels his future is tied with this. He's not happy with what he's doing here. And mother says, you may be unhappy, but that doesn't matter. Love is more important. So what is going on here? So let us see this in a drama. Knowing the two parties, I can say that the mother loves the son. And here we are showing the department of love. Mother loves the son. This is mother's department of. But along with love, there is another department, and that this department is mother has become dependent on the son. Just that is like nothing to do with love. Mother feels good if the son is around. Mother feels, in some way, she feels lonely without the son. So there is nothing bad, but just a little dependency. But important, it is not love. It is more me factor. I feel good. That is what is going. In time, this dependency has got bigger and bigger. As with everything else, if you don't stop something, it just gets worse. Just like any addiction. Love is still there. Mother loves the son. That, of course, there are no question about it. But now there is another department of dependency. And now son says, I'm going to Australia. And last second, we can't suddenly drop something that we have created over a lifetime. So here she says, you're going, but what about me? So I will feel lonely. There's emotions are coming there. She experiences suffering. And when there is the suffering experience, she feels unhappy about it. She says, no, don't go. And it will be because there is love. What is another complication here? In this confusion, she thinks all of this is love. I'm giving this example because this is a story with 99% of the population. Harvard University professor in sociology, he says all close relationships are dysfunctional. This includes husband, wife, all close relationships, marriages are dysfunctional. Question is how dysfunctional, how much, and why they become dysfunctional? Because of this factor of dependency. Dependency helplessly makes one selfish. And as we see here in this example, it prevents her from loving him. It's not possible for her to think of him impartially. Think of what is really good for him. Let us imagine somehow this department was not there. Dependency was not there. Just love was there. Then she would think, okay, you got a job, don't worry about me. Let us see in what way it will help you, what is your future, will you be happy? Okay, in that case, go, don't worry. Don't think about me. But send me the ticket sometimes. So this is like some new attachments might come to Australia. But here we are seeing the havoc that is created by this department of dependency. When we use the word attachment, this English word, interpret it as dependency, emotional dependency. Otherwise, English word can this very vague, this word attachment, and it can be confusing. If we use it for love, it is one thing, and if we use it sometimes for something else. But just to use the word, there is a love there. That's a very clear department. And there's another department where you become dependent, and know that that depends. In this case, it did not make her happy. It just makes her not loving. It prevents her from loving. And she is worrying about her. And not just when he's going away, she will be thinking about all this. What if he goes? What if he says? Dependency makes us unhappy. Slave. It is dependency when there is a slavery. Slave cannot be experiencing the highest emotion. Slave is happy when the master allows him to be. So also here, dependency, she can be happy sometimes when the masters allow her to be happy, when outside things are going well. We have the option to remove this. If she was to remove this, she will be loving, properly loving. Now, in us, in every relationship, both these factors are there. There is love, there is also dependency, every relationship. Here we are talking about mother. Mother's love is more pure than anyone else's. And still we see this another complication. So if our relationship with friends and everything, there's I, me, these factors are there. But that is not healthy for anyone. So when these songs are coming, on love, when people talk about so much about heart valas and this, that is sometimes, it is good to question it, especially for ourselves. No problem with outside one. If they keep singing songs, that is good luck. But for ourselves, we have to question. Is it coming from the right side within me? Or is the starting position itself is a wrong position? Then it is a confusion. We think we are loving, and it will create confusion. Like here, this mother may feel, I am loving the other person so much, another person is creating problem to me. He left, and she can be bitter. So if we know very clearly what is going on, then it is healthier for us. That's why many times the language used, be free from attachment and become free from dependency. We want to be loving. We want to be with people, but not in this way. I'm going to read a few things that are spoken by Baba on the supreme love. But first, let us hear some thoughts from you, or any comments. Anyone will let us hear.
Comments. True love is giving each other respectful space, and love should be without expectations. The question is, love letting somebody be? Any decision, good or bad? Any comments?
Yes, and we will see, in more detail this whole subject. But as not today, but over next few days, if it is not addressed, come back. Answer is not straightforward, yes or no, but we need to know more factors. We'll get chance to explore it.
Thank you. So there aren't any other questions at the moment.
Sure. So I'm going to read this. Little radical on some of these, because we are dealing with supreme, supreme law. So this is those who are familiar, 26th of May, 69. Some words. What is the sign of love? Rabbi is asking. What is the sign of love? The main sign will be the one who loves God. The main sign you will see in his face, the face of one whom he loves. In his eyes, you will see the eyes of the one whom he loves. Through his mouth will be heard the unspoken words of his love. Through his every activity, you will see the picture of love. Your stage has to be like this. At the moment, there is a difference between your sanskaras and the father's sanskaras. When your sanskaras will become like the father's sanskaras, everyone will see this. Within you, they will see the father. In each one, they will see the father. They will have the visions of the father through you. At the moment, there is a difference. It is nice to a different game altogether. So let us see here. Now, what is this father's personality, and whom are we loving here, and in what way it will affect our life. And so if we, let us come back again to our Paras perspective. And in this full light and full understanding, you are becoming free completely from this department of the story. It is like a full wholesale freedom from it. You are not claiming to love any that is a separate department. You are waking up to another reality. Everything, story is going on. Cinderella is doing her task and ugly sister is doing, everything is going on. You are waking up to another. What is the father's personality? And whom does he love? How does he approach this? Now, his personality, he knows this. His personality is 100% truth. He is Parasnath. So one thing he is not doing is he's not deceived by the story. 100% is free from the story. But more he is free from the story, more he is engaged with the real world and the real family. He has time for you. He acknowledges you, your existence, your presence. What has happened to all human beings of the present time? All human beings of the present time are maybe loving also, maybe kind and merciful, but they are so caught up in the Cinderella world. They want to help Cinderella, they want to love Cinderella, they are singing songs, composing songs. Some want to rescue someone to give cakes. They are 100% immersed in that Cinderella, that they don't even know that they existed. Leave aside you. They don't know that you exist. They don't know that they themselves exist. They are thinking they themselves are Cinderellas in that story. Confusion is at that level. So here, Supreme Father, he is in truth. That as a result of this truth, he is free from this Cinderella phenomena. He knows it all, but he's out of it. He is not wasting his time complaining, worrying, loving Cinderella. Mind is free. But he now sees you. And each one here is extremely lovely. Extremely lovely. Not because they are doing some special meditation practice or they are in each and every one. They may be playing a part of whatever part they have played, of some dictator or some part they may have played, villain, but each and everyone is extremely lovely. What is the evidence? If someone asks you, give me some rational evidence that each and everyone is lovely. I'm common layman. Can you give me some rational reason? Is it just a belief? You are saying everyone is lovely, and then I have to believe it. You tell me something that makes me sort of, I'm not looking for laboratory proof, but something makes me feel that makes sense. Each and everyone is immensely lovely. This is a statement.
Laboratory proof would also be nice. But some answers, no desires or expectations. Everyone likes to be loved. They love God. They are in love with God. Each one is a soul. But may not convince those who are kind of new. They don't have a soul. Independent, the possibility of being independent from the story.
Okay, very, very good. Now, one aspect I would like to, highlight. If you see any child, any child anywhere from any culture, you find them lovely. Child, you feel this child is loving, child is happy, child innocence. You see these things. Why? Why is children are like this? They create an atmosphere of love and they are loving and they love everyone. Where does that come from? They are like that because the souls are like this. Because this is the first expression of the soul. Soul is just starting, just come from the home, and so their behavior, they are just experiencing their natural nature. Later, as we go down the line, then other things come in, and the complications come. But here you get an idea that every soul, you are visually seeing this, because at the eternal level and at the original level, they are childlike, they are innocent, they are loving, they are beings of bliss. And as you said, there are reasons why it is like that. They are immortal, and they know they are immortal. This aspect of immortality, story of immortality, is very, very central to our personality. Anyone who understands he is safe, he exists forever. If he really understands this and he is not confused, one who is not confused understands this, that he is beyond harm, yet forever. Now, if you are beyond harm, then you have no enemies. We all are so bothered by worrying about our own existence. All are immortal, but whole life they are worrying about death. That is the biggest paradox. Because it is the ego-based reactions. Ego is all the time worried about harm. His yoga is with that, any kind of danger. And then he cannot love because others can harm him. This is like a principle of every soul. If anyone makes you feel insecure, your love becomes less. This is the absolute connection. And ego, everyone can make him insecure. Some word from someone can make him insecure. Presence of someone can make him insecure. And so ego finds he cannot love many people unless they give him cake and they give him a song, and then it is a cake. Until then, ego cannot love. Bigger the ego, more the complications. Anyone got ego? So if we go in that direction, then what we see in this world, they are ego-based songs and ego-based love and ego-based drama going on. All interactions, because we don't know any other option. So we scratch each other's back and we think that we are loving. But this is all at one level. That is not Parmatm Pyaar. We are getting an idea what is Parmatm Pyaar, God's love. He steps out of this. He's zero ego. So he doesn't need to go in that direction at all to please someone else's ego. And no one can make him insecure. He is aware of his independence from the story. He knows of his immortality. He knows everyone is lovely. They all have got different parts in the drama, and that is good. Whatever part they are playing in the Cinderella world, that is the drama. But he knows behind the drama, everyone is immensely lovely, desireless, egoless, sorrowless. I will write some of these words down. They are important for us. Each and every soul doesn't need anything. Desireless, sorrowless. By less, we are talking about zero. They need nothing from the story. Things of the story cannot give them sorrow. They are egoless. They are not creating ego based on the story. They are viceless. And they are ignoranceless. Zero. Any of these things. If anyone has less of this, you will love them. You will like these people. You will call them Mahatmas. Someone has less desires, less sorrow. He's not getting into sorrow himself. He is not into big ego based on different things. Someone with less vices, someone with less ignorance, you love them. Like some great people, Mother Teresa, or you might not even know them. But in your judgment, they are with these people, got less vices and less desires, less sorrow. You naturally have love for them. Here we are talking about souls. Their nature, natural nature is zero of any of these things. When you remove all of this, what remains, they are beings of bliss and love. That's what's said, childlike and godlike. All, this applies to all souls. There is no exception here. Natural nature of each and every soul is immensely lovely. This is the way God sees, and this is the way God knows. He knows that everyone is worthy of love forever. What an amazing thing to know. Everyone is worthy of love forever. They may be playing the part of some kind. They may be themselves not conscious of this. So they are themselves ruled by ego and all. So are they still worthy of love? They are feeling they are not feeling all this viceless and egoless and desireless. Should you still love them? They are full of ego today and full of hatred, and they may be throwing stones on you also. So should you still love them? I say they are worthy of love and worthy of, your respect. Are they worthy? Even if right now they are not egoless.
Yes.
Why? Why?
Why should we love them?
Yeah. They are right now into ego. Just, I can sing a song, but they are creating problems. They are throwing stones and create danger to others.
This is the love of the soul, independent of the part. And they are like princes who have amnesia. And the soul.
Very good.
Mm.
Say one of the prince, say a prince from this country, let us say Prince William, you say he's prince, but say he's asleep. When he's asleep, he himself doesn't know. Everything is closed, but you still see him as a prince. When he's awake, he's a prince. When he's asleep, he's still a prince. Same thing applies to everyone. They are these, you see, angelic souls. That is what they are, each and every one. If they are awake, they will experience it. If they are asleep, it is shut down. But they are still angelic princes, angelic souls. And the personality that that personality continues. So for Supreme Being, his love is coming from this understanding, full understanding. For Supreme Being, there is no ego department, not 1%. So in every situation, when human souls have gone extreme in other direction, they are into Iron Age, immersed into. They don't want to know that they are souls even. They are determined to write books on God delusion and soul delusion. That is all okay. That is all, even if they may have intention. That is, they are not awake. It's just like someone is asleep. He could be talking anything and he could be, creating problems. But he's not awake at that time. So he needs more help even, so that he can wake up. So supreme love remains to all the souls, not to remain more to one and less to other. That love remains to everyone and all the time. And as was mentioned at the beginning of the quotation, it is beautifully put, and it appears meanest. If you are loving the creature, can be animal, the meanest, some personality can be whatever, they are biting you and creating havoc in your kitchen. If you are in that space, first feeling will be of love, because you are not seeing the part that is played. They may be biting you, but you have to free them. That is that body they have got. And if you are in that space, it's a big luxury for you. And that those who are able to love their enemy, they are lucky themselves. Because you got £1 million, £1 billion, and gold, tons of gold, and you can go to space, every week with all these, amazing, great. But if you yourself are into emotions, I hate this one and I don't like this one, then what is the quality of life? Your quality of life will become weaker. No? Whereas here we are talking about, the person who, under extreme provocations, if his heart is rich, is able to love, in all situations, all creatures, manyest of the creatures, he is able to love. It is luxury for him. He is loving in his dreams, he is loving in his sleep, he is loving in the morning, he is loving in the evening. Wherever you see, he loves. God's love is this. And this is the potential of every human being. We are seeing the method. We are seeing how is it possible? We have to come out of the confusion factor ourselves. Seeing him, seeing the personality, God's personality helps us. Baba was saying, you see him, that Murli that we read, you see him, and that will that will come in your eyes, and that will come in your face, and that will come in your words, mouth, your actions, because you are tuning in to that personality. So let us hear some thoughts from you. Do you like all this? Love, true, or it was some song would have been nice, some melancholic song.
It's true. Maybe we can plan it for the next 2 days. Some song breaks. It's quite a nice, yeah. So instead of a song, I have a question, but song is in the heart. Is having dislike for certain personalities in the drama also a sign of dependency, would you say?
Yes, of course, because we have crossed the line. We are getting the reference. What we spoke just now gives us an idea, what it will be. What is God's love? That is just like a mirror. So it shows you what will be the love from you when you are fully awake. What will be the love to be expected from me if I am in full light now? If I create that stage now, what do I expect? We don't want to claim that we are perfect today. No, we are not. That's why Baba was saying there is a difference. Right now there is a difference. But we want to remove this difference. But more we are understanding, superficially we cannot say, and there is no benefit. I love someone, I love the enemies, I love the world. Superficially, no. It will not bring about changes. But we are seeing to come to that Parmatm Pyaar, we have to wake up. The souls have to wake up. It is like waking up to another reality altogether. And this is completely invisible. Ordinarily, you are living in that reality. That has become your family. That is what you are seeing, and that's what you are. You are understanding you are beyond harm. No one can harm you, even the slightest. Body may die also, but love doesn't stop. That kind of position during that stage. Because the soul knows he is beyond harm, and so everyone is like that. So that homework has to be done to really come in this area. Ordinarily, if we are not using paras, we are very much dangling in the drama. We think we may be loving also, but we are very much into the ego game, ego-based game. That doesn't lead to any progress. We think we are loving, we are running around doing things, singing songs, but if that deeper shift has not happened, then just Ravan gets bigger in you and in others. And Ravan is not really loving. As we saw before, Ravan's department is helplessly has got some agenda. If it is not obvious, in time it will become obvious. And so some dislike will come if that we are operating at a story level.
Yeah, I think you've answered this next one question here. The problem with attachment only comes in a few close relationships. So does it mean we are loving to everyone else? That you kind of touched on that, but if you want to add anything.
Yeah. Once we are in a wrong position, it is like a wrong attitude, wrong vision everywhere. But yes, the dependency will grow more with some people, those who are in contact. But the wrong positioning is everywhere. Here we also get an insight. How can we bring about this change? In the past, we have used this image of dotted line. And this dotted line represents ignorance. We have the option, when we have crossed that line, this story becomes big, important, matters. There's you are in the Cinderella, this Cinderella, Prashant and all is part of this Cinderella. And we are dangling in that reality, as if everything, this is all that exists. When we come on the other side of the line, then this alakik world opens up. That family, that home, that reality opens up. That's all. Our aim is not to go home now. That is not the aim. But we want to get out of the ignorance. And once we are out of the ignorance, we know about the home. We are awake to the reality of the family. It is not just meditation, some stars there, no, that is the family. As we said, they're lovely, loving, they're childlike, they're godlike, and they're ours. It is an eternal bond. If you know some friends for many years, there is a deeper bond. Here is the family, you know them for eternity. There is and this applies to all. And so once you have connected at that level, then you are coming in this drama. Someone is walking, you are in the city, and someone is walking past. Externally a stranger. But when you are awake, you know that this is my brother. And he is your brother, which is not just a brother for language. He is your brother who you know for eternity. Is as close as anyone else. And you may be meeting him just for once in this whole cycle. So this becomes a very special moment. You are meeting your brother. So it will become a moment, just 10 seconds of love for you. That's enough. You are not, don't need to sing a song, don't need to meet another, say, talk. Just that moment becomes a moment of quality. That is Parmatm Pyaar. So if you are doing this, 10 seconds here, 10 seconds here, it is, you are making your heart richer. You are also, this Parmatm Pyaar is something that will not just disappear. Anything coming from truth, it has its results. And that is quality. You are bringing this love, that is a quality. other love, I can say this, other love, all the songs, even though they are very, very loud, lots of love going on there, but they are empty. It doesn't create any shift to the lives of people, because it's coming from underneath confusion and love. But when it is coming from truth and coming from the souls, and we are talking about here angelic souls, it may be even for 1 minute in the awake stage. That 1 minute is immensely precious, 1 minute, for you and for the world and for the other souls also. God is involved in this. We are bringing that energy of God here. So if you can do it for 1 minute, you can do it more. So the idea of service, you are benefiting the world, but you are having yoga, but you are experiencing love in the process. Imagine you were in another country, and your mother, you happen to meet your mother by chance. You're not expecting, and then you're meeting the mother after 2 years, and just by chance you are there, and you are going in different directions. Those 2 minutes together, they will appear like very special 2 minutes. And definitely there will be lots of love experienced, because one expression Baba uses in Mugli, Sikhilata. Sikhilata has 2 meanings, very dear, and also the long lost and found again. You are meeting after a long time, then it becomes Sikhilata. So you are meeting mother in this strange country by chance, and just for 2 minutes you are together, and you will be not meeting for another long time. They become very special meeting, 2 minutes. This is what is happening here. For the soul who is conscious, superficially all the strangers are going past, and all the creatures also, animals and birds, but he is not seeing these are strangers. He is seeing these are Sikhilates, brothers, and we are together just for a very short time, and we might never see again for a long time. But right now we are together. Those moments will be the moments of Parmatm Pyaar, if the soul is conscious. If the soul is not conscious, then it is just ordinary. We manage people and try to avoid them and try to do something, that is ordinary life. But when we are awake, they are rich. There is richness for you, but there is benefit all around. Yeah, any other thoughts?
An incredible contrast, as you say, body consciousness, we are sort of managing things, and the ego is not able to love at all. It's just a completely selfish thing. And in the Murli Baba says, never let go of love. And this beautiful description of seeing the long lost and found, the Sikalate, close brother soul. Yeah, incredible vision and transformation. Maybe there's a question, and after that, perhaps we have time for rooms. When we look up to God for love, we are looking up at his powers and blessings. Does it mean we are loving God as beggars, as we love others in the drama?
Sorry, mind to repeat again?
Yeah, I think the question is, do we love God as beggars as we love others in the drama? Is it possible that can happen?
That is it possible that can happen? And of course, the bhakti department of love, has got some kind of, God do something either to me or to others. There is some kind of, there is when starting position is confusion, it can go anywhere. We first need to address the starting position, and then everything can be, we can expect different results.
So is this a good time to create discussion?
Yes. Yeah.
And do you have maybe a reflective question?
Of our idea of love, just understanding the subject of love. Does it, other aspect in this is that our love, does it need any refinement? Do we need to do anything about our love before composing songs?
Songs also okay, but yeah, first the refinement, that's nice. Whilst you're reflecting on this question, we would like to give you a poll. If I can find the right button on here. Here we go. Yes, on your screen, I hope you can see a panel. How many Sanjeevani sessions have you listened to? And if your translators could translate, would be great. Don't worry if you can't operate it. You can always write in the chat if you wish. So maybe another few moments. Thank you to everyone who's managed to feedback. We'll just share the results. Thank you. And I think everyone here knows a little bit about this next phase. It's around 10 or 15 minutes. And if you're happy to have the camera on, it makes a really great chance to meet different people and discuss this subject, and giving everyone a chance to share. You might have to check your screen view so you can see other participants on the call. Just swipe right on your phone if you're using mobile. And yeah, if you're in the wrong room for your language, just press help and we'll try to assist and to move you. So enjoy, and we'll meet back in a short while. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. If you are all back, I think let's have like a moment of this Parmatm Pyaar and from the soul, and we'll meet back in a minute. So I'm going to warmly welcome Belinda, who's joining from South Africa. And it'd be lovely to hear any thoughts that come up on the subject. And warm welcome, if you're able to unmute. Yes, hello.
Hello. Thank you, Sarah. It is such a beautiful topic today. Something that is so attractive. And the example that of how lovely children are, just showing us that this is really the original state of the soul. In the rooms, it was very rich discussion, and the first most important step is to recognize that what we thought was love was in fact not love at all, but Ravan's tricks of being able to get what the ego needs, actually. But I was thinking that this feeling of worthiness, you know, when we listen to the words of the 69 Murli, and we think, is it really possible to have that quality of love that was described? But then when we are fully awake and we recognize the absolute worthiness of the soul, that state of God in which all are loved unconditionally, and that includes this soul. This soul is worthy of that love. And if the soul is worthy of that love, then the soul is also able to have the same love as the Father, because the soul is like the Father. But there are challenges to experiencing this very, very beautiful but very subtle form of love. Well, actually the only true love. And that is that the soul needs to be in its truth, the true self. The true self is able then to catch and experience the love of the Supreme. Without that step of soul awareness, we just revert back to Ravan's love. It can be in the form of bhakti as well. And it can be in the form of words. No, Baba, Baba, constantly being said, but no true experience. So that step of being in soul awareness, and then it's as if the soul puts itself in the environment of love, and then that love is experienced. So the refinement for me was really to come into that truth as much as possible, and then experiencing God's love, which is part of the whole beauty of being awake. God's love, the love for all souls, for the family. We use the word family, and family is synonymous with love, but in the highest sense, that soul conscious love. So I think this is a topic that is so attractive for all of us. And it's something that I think the soul searches for, and very often gets lost in Ravan's delusion of love. Thank you.
Thank you, Belinda, for expressing this topic in a way that helps to deepen clarity, and it kind of became more like vivid about the relationship between the soul and the father of the soul, because this unconditional atmosphere, then unless the soul is in that space, it absolutely can't have those feelings of others and can only love others to the extent that the soul has been in this genuine awake state. So for me, it comes down, I guess, to detachment, and those words being rhyming so appropriately in Hindi, the nyara, or detachment from the story, means we are Pyaar, truly loving to the real ones. Thank you very much for the insights, and it would be nice to hear if anyone wants to share a couple of points from your discussion. We have some questions for you, Prashant, and if you want, I can start with one, or this may be in a way like a summary. Can we define love in detail? What is it?
Yeah, maybe Belinda is good for these difficult questions. Belinda, want to answer?
I think if we try to define love in in Robin's world, it's so different. It's almost like when the soul's awake, love is just a natural state. We don't have to even say, I love you, because it's like the natural state of the sun is to shine, and the natural state of the soul is to love. Thank you.
Nice. But if you want the science kind of a definition, just to make it more complicated, it is defined as psychic gravity. So it goes completely out of the heart. But it is nice, and be a bit more clear about this. But what Belinda said, the experience is, we all know the experience.
There's a question here. Does that mean we should, I don't know the context of this question, but does it mean we should love from the brain, i.e. intellect, and not from the heart, as we usually do?
Yes, very interesting. The one expression that gets used, within the Raj Yoga language, loving intellect, and what it means, intellect is an important part in our life. If our starting, as we mentioned before, starting position is wrong, then everything is wrong. We may think it is heart, but there is an energy there, but it gets directed in the wrong direction and can lead to accidents. So it's like we have to use hands at the right place and legs at the right place. And in the same way, we need intellect to place us in the right place. And that automatically helps our heart to express in the right way also.
Yeah, thank you. Even the feelings may be there, but it is like mixed, and you mentioned lead to accidents. Interesting. This is also a kind of summary question, and you've already brought aspects of it, but what are the safeguards to observe and prevent this dependency to grow?
What we are emphasizing today is get the full clarity. It is like, it is not, it will take gradual time, in 1 week I will be able to see in clarity. No, we have the option of paras, and let us go for full clarity. And when you are seeing full light, then many things appear absurd. In darkness, it may appear completely normal to do that, but in full light, it will appear absurd. You would automatically become free from the wrong direction. Then there is no struggle. You are not fighting with some habits or something. You just see it is how strange to go in that direction. Like someone says, I am, attached to Cinderella, but if he sees in clarity, he himself will say, how absurd, what is he talking about?
Yeah, it's like a one aspect to it, just to get that right. If ego is a creation of the soul, why is it so hard to eliminate it?
It is not hard. As we are mentioning, in darkness, it is difficult. because darkness supports ego. It favors ego. Ego will get bigger even in darkness. But you change the atmosphere, change the environment. And in the environment of light, ego dissolves. It favors the soul.
Very clear. Someone's typed in the chat, so it means Ravan's love is blind, while Ram's love is full and far-sighted. It's just a comment.
Yes.
Can we say attachment is like we're bargaining and love is freedom in cooperation?
Yeah, very likely. Ravan likes bargaining. Haggling.
You say you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back and call it a relationship. Yes. So there aren't any other questions at this very moment. I don't know if you wanted to share anything final.
So, let us create a few more minutes of attention and come back in that space. So the whole game we are seeing here is light and using the highest intellect. We have the option. We've already got it, and so we are using it. And it is fun because we are seeing now that love for everyone and all creatures, and you are aware that they are all invisible, all alokik. Everything that is physical is part of the story. But we are seeing the alokik dimension. And this is the world with God, world of God. It's the supreme reality. It is our world. All we have done is use the intellect, and we are now in the region of love and bliss. The awake soul understands all our angelic souls, because in their eternal and original state, everyone is good. There is no trace of anything inauspicious. They are auspicious, like the Father. Souls are like this. And all, we are taking all souls. There is all life. They are good, harmless and sorrowless. That's right. They are all beings of bliss and love. So this region is a region. Everyone is lovely. The more we experience this dimension, we actually help the world, because the real need of the moment is light. The real need is they come out of this darkness. And each time we experience this dimension, we are creating light. It becomes easy for others to come to this light. And it is not just love, all problems are solved. All problems, 100% of problems are secondary to confusion. So if they just discover who they are and where they are from, that itself is the biggest prize and lottery. Love and bliss and immortality, that is all a bonus. So one sign of love would be to experience this dimension, to stay awake ourselves, to stay in light. This love should lead somewhere, it should bring benefit, not just experience love and sing a song, but paying attention to this, that will lead to a shift of consciousness. And that is the need of the hour. As we continue our journey, we remember this option. Even though this big prize is right in front of us, we still need reminders. Because this is the eternal prize, not just for a few minutes. It is the big prize, eternal prize. We have the option to experience it often until it becomes normal and natural. Thank you.
Thank you. It feels like the opposite of attachment is true love, which actually brings empowerment and freedom to others. So we can finish with a drill if you would like. Unless you have any final message, comments.
Yeah, that's good.
So I think most are familiar with the drills, the Baghdad drill with the words spoken in the Parmatm Pyaar consciousness. So enjoy, and we will meet again tomorrow. is here.